The year was 1857. New York City throbbed with a relentless energy. But in its relentless expansion, something vital was being suffocated. Space, serenity, a breath of clean air. The clamor for a great public park, a lungs for the city, had been growing. Finally, the city's Board of Commissioners announced a design competition. The challenge was monumental: to transform a vast, untamed tract, over 750 acres of rocky outcrops, swamps, and squatter settlements, into a public pleasure ground unlike any America had seen. The city held its breath, waiting for a vision. That vision would find its champion in Frederick Law Olmsted, a writer, a social reformer, a man possessed by a fervent belief in the restorative power of landscape. The park competition was more than a professional opportunity, it was a calling. But Olmsted knew his limitations. He sought out Calvert Vaux, an English-born architect whose pragmatic mind complemented Olmsted's effusive nature. Vaux listened. "Your ideas, they are bold. Revolutionary even," Olmsted pressed. "It is essential, Calvert. The park must be a retreat. We must think not just of today, but of generations to come." Together, they toiled, Olmsted painting grand visions, Vaux translating them into elegant lines. Their plan, Greensward, was born from this dynamic fusion, a symphony of landscape design, ambitious and utterly unique. The announcement, when it finally came, the Greensward Plan was declared the winner. A thrill of triumph for Olmsted, mingled with profound responsibility. Vaux, more reserved, knew the true work, and the true battles were just beginning. Among the 33 plans was one by Egbert Ludovicus Ville, the park's original chief engineer. Superseded, Ville felt the sting of professional slight. The choice was controversial. The formidable Andrew Haswell Green, a lawyer and city planner, would soon become a powerful force, overseeing the project with an iron will. Adding to their woes was a skeptical press. Editorials questioned the enormous expense, the displacement, the very feasibility of transforming such rugged landscape. Before the grand vision could be realized, a stark human drama unfolded. Seneca Village, a predominantly African-American community of modest prosperity, stood in the path. For Sarah, a resident, it was home, heritage. The notice of eminent domain fell like a death knell. Olmsted, with his social reformist leanings, felt the weight of this displacement. "A regrettable necessity," he remarked, the justification sounding hollow even to his own ears. Progress often wore a harsh face. With the land cleared, the monumental task of construction began. Stubborn bedrock defied easy removal. "Blast it," Olmsted would command. Tons of gunpowder shattered the Manhattan schist. Armies of laborers, many recent Irish immigrants, descended upon the site, men like Michael O'Connell. The work was backbreaking, perilous, pay low, hours long. Yet, for many, it was a chance to earn a meager wage in a new land. Olmsted and Vaux were constant presences, their mind's eye seeing the future. "The curves, man, the curves," Olmsted would exclaim. "Nature abhors a straight line here. It must flow, invite exploration." The logistical challenges were staggering. Olmsted, as architect-in-chief, found himself a field general. "We need another 1,000 cubic yards of topsoil," he'd sigh, energy sapped. Vaux, pragmatic, was a necessary anchor. Unforeseen engineering obstacles constantly arose. One of the most significant was the creation of the transverse roads, sunken roadways designed to carry cross-town commercial traffic beneath the park, preserving the pastoral illusion. A marvel of 19th century engineering, requiring intricate coordination and brute force. The immense pressures inevitably strained their collaboration. Olmsted, the visionary, often chafed under what he perceived as Vaux's excessive caution. "Must we debate the precise crenellation of this retaining wall for another week, Calvert?" Vaux, whose meticulousness was essential, felt Olmsted sometimes overlooked practical constraints. "Pragmatism, my dear Olmsted, is not the enemy of art, it is often its foundation." As construction progressed, the city watched and talked. The skeptical newspaper editor sharpened his quills. "Millions squandered on mud and rock," one headline screamed. "A rich man's folly." Olmsted, deeply sensitive yet unyielding in his artistic vision, often felt besieged. "This is not merely a pleasure ground," he argued passionately. "It is an essential instrument of public health, of social cohesion, an investment in the very soul of our city." Years of relentless effort began to yield visible results. In the winter of 1858, the lake was the first area to officially open. The sight of thousands of citizens, rich and poor, young and old, gliding across the ice under the crisp winter sky was a powerful affirmation. "Look, Calvert," Olmsted said, a rare smile crinkling his eyes. "They have come." As seasons turned, other sections followed. For laborers like Michael O'Connell, seeing families stroll along paths he had helped to build, children laughing on grass he had helped to lay, brought a quiet sense of pride. He had helped make this. The light, it seemed, was finally breaking through the trees. The decades unspooled. The 1860s bled into the 1870s, and Central Park continued to grow, to mature. Saplings they had planted grew into stately trees. The raw earth of the meadows softened into lush green carpets. The vision was becoming a living reality. Setbacks were still frequent. Political winds shifted. Funding ebbed and flowed. Olmsted himself had a tumultuous relationship with the park commissioners. Andrew Haswell Green remained a powerful, often controlling figure. Yet, through it all, the Greensward Plan proved its resilience. The sweat and toil of the Irish laborers, the earth movers, the stonemasons, their efforts were embedded in every pathway, every rise and fall of the land. By the time the main period of construction drew to a close in the mid-1870s, Central Park was celebrated not just in New York, but around the world. Standing on Cherry Hill, one crisp autumn afternoon, an older Olmsted, his beard now mostly grey, might have allowed himself a moment of quiet satisfaction. The greensward lived. A testament to human ingenuity and perseverance, but also bearing the indelible mark of its era's social inequalities, a somber reminder of the communities displaced to make way for its green expanse. It was a legacy complex and profound.